Oh, hello everyone. It's Susie, Crypto Granny here. The date is the 29th of August and the time in Europe is 21:51 p.m. And I hope you're all well, looking after yourself, looking after your beautiful family, your beautiful children, your beautiful husband, wife, also your friends, and also please looking after your animals and any other animals out there in the world. In these times, people tend to get rid of animals, and it's just horrible, and they suffer more than anyone. So please do the right thing, and just to make this place, this world, a better place. Because seriously, it's becoming so extremely right wing and racist, and it's just horribility. There's about what 41 wars in the world, and things are just terrible in terms of government spending billions and billions of dollars on war weapons to destroy the environment and the supply and everything else. But anyway, let's be a bit more positive about this today. Seriously. Now, top European economy news was Telegraph founder Pavel Durov charged with allowing criminal activity on messaging app. That's one of the biggest stories out there at the moment. Also, dead fish blanket Greek tourist port or something. German inflation post surprise drop in August of 2%. Again, I don't believe the inflation numbers. They are garbology, and no one believes that prices have only got up by 2% in a year. That's just garbage, okay? Keeping in mind that the statisticians in these government organizations do fiddle with the numbers, and they exclude a lot of items that the average person has to pay, okay? So these figures are garbology, just like unemployment's garbology. Unemployment's higher than that, massively so. The figures are garbage, absolute garbage, and I don't believe them for a minute, okay? So, there's just garbology. What else can I say? So what else have we got here? I hope you like my new style. I am trying to get this right in terms of video making. So I appreciate your patience, and please tick or give me a thumbs up or something if you think I'm doing a good job. Now, Shell plans wide cuts in oil exploration division. Interestingly enough, I always thought Shell was American. And I remember my father being in a big argument with a Dutch guy, and the Dutch guy was saying that Shell is Netherlands, it's owned by the Dutch, and he was absolutely correct about that. So I remember it from that argument. But also Ukraine, there's still a lot of fighting, obviously, with the Ukraine and the Russians. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Another war out there, and this war's been going for about 2 years. Okay, it's just unbelievable. It really feels like 1938 when Hitler, went to war, in Czechoslovakia and everything. Interestingly enough, Mr. Putin used the same argument, that there are Russian ethnic people in the Ukraine, and that's exactly what Mr. Hitler said in 1938 when he invaded Czechoslovakia, that there's a lot of German ethnics. So, German, people with German backgrounds. So I thought that was quite interesting. We know the Gaza thing's going on, and that seems to be getting worse by the minute. So with Israel, it's not a great story. Let's hope they can calm it down, all the diplomats, but we don't know. So let it. And the reason why this is important for crypto people is because it affects the fundamentals of crypto. Clearly, when there's war, it affects confidence in the economy when there's war. Also, if you look at history, the knee-jerk reaction in risk markets is to sell first and then buy when the war happens, right? And that's generally what happens. So the anticipation of war in history, markets tend to sell down and there's more volatility. But when a war starts, because there's a massive depletion of resources, the stock market, the equity market looks forward, okay? And so therefore they start buying equities on a belief that this destruction of resources and environment and people and machinery and everything else is going to increase demand massively, which it does. Now, a thing that we keep looking at constantly is the US debt clock, okay? And it's frightening when we look at this. I looked at this earlier this year, and what is it now, 29th of August, And the US natural debt at the time was under 32 trillion. We've literally seen, debt rise by over 3 trillion in a matter of, 7 months or something, right? And if you look at these figures, it basically says that every American in America, if they had to pay out the debt today, would need to pay the government to pay out the debt, 267,000, which is just obscene, okay? Absolutely obscene. Now, as interest rates go up, the debt costs go up because it's more interest expense, and as the interest rates go down, debt comes down. And you can see what I'm saying here. Certainly the government and the US central, the US central, the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee, has a vested interest or a bias to keep interest rates low because their debt burden is becoming dramatic, and it's a huge percentage of their gross domestic product, of their growth in the economy in the US. Where the US is not manufacturing anything or creating anything, 70% of that economy, and I've said it before, is pretty much consumerism, okay? The retail consumer stops spending. The US economy is even, let's put it this way, there's even more risk of it falling off a cliff, and we have a massive depression, right? And many of the big economists out there and the market-savvy people who've been in the market for 60 years are calling that. And that's pretty much what I'm calling as well. It surprises me the US is still AAA or AA plus on negative watch, given that, they're literally a country that's in massive debt. And they roll all this debt over constantly and keep issuing new treasury bonds and bills into the market, and they keep borrowing from the rest of the world. And that's not a great solution. The borrowings have been to basically support war weapons globally, and it hasn't been going into the economy of the US. And, thus you see, infrastructure not being done, roads not being fixed up, for example. Also it hasn't gone to healthcare, and we know the problems with healthcare in the US. Apparently, if you don't have insurance, I'm told, for health insurance, I'm told that it could literally bleed you dry of all your assets, right? Even if you were middle class or something. That's what I'm told. So, when you look at these figures, they're alarming. I've got to tell you that. If you look at the food stamp figures, they're rising dramatically. More and more people are on food stamps. More and more people are living, under the poverty level, which is, striking, because you really think, how can this be a country like the US? All we hear in Hollywood and US series now, how wealthy everyone is. It's quite striking, I've got to tell you that. Going back to their debt level, their sovereign credit risk, or their sovereign credit rating, I think it's AA plus. Don't quote me on that. It used to be AAA. But, the country's literally in massive debt, okay? And it's not paying its debts. So you've got to ask the question, how can they have a AA or a AAA credit rating when they're not paying their debts, okay? Now, it might be potentially because Standard & Poor's, which is American, and Moody's are both American, are holding up that credit rating. But the reality is that credit rating shouldn't be AA or AAA. And if you reduce that credit rating to, say, A or down further, then the US's cost of credit would rise astronomically, okay? And thus you would get more debt, accruing, and the interest expense costs would be literally, I've got to tell you, probably, 40 to 60 or 80% higher, right? So there's a good reason why, certain people or certain organizations want to keep the credit rating where it is, AA or whatever it is, because it reduces their cost of funding. Okay, which means if it goes below AA, in terms of, people that look at fixed interest and corporate debt and sovereign debt, that means the US government has a worse credit rating than, say, most of the banks, okay, the big investment banks. So what that means is you're better off sitting in the big investment banks rather than in US debt, because you run the risk, a higher risk of US debt going belly up and defaulting than, say, a US bank. And that's just insane. I mean, what that means is the US federal government has done a terrible, terrible job, okay? So the politicians that have been here, whether they're Democratic or Republican, have done an absolutely shocking job. And on the face of it, things look very bad in the US particularly. So let's have a look at the next slide. We will get to the cryptocurrency market, but all this feeds into all markets, okay? Because it's interest rates, right? And interest rates revalue all other markets. And also the debt problem, there is a limit on that debt problem. They have to go to the Senate and get that through for higher credit card borrowing from the rest of the world. And that really, from an investor confidence perspective, is not a great story, okay? I'd be very reluctant to invest in US bonds, given that US currency, in my mind, at 144 to the yen is still massively overvalued. And I think where, its credit rating is, it should be reduced, but also, their debt figures are alarming. And, US to the yen should be down below 190. That's my call, because I just think it's too high at 145. It's a nightmare, and it's killing everyone else over in the world that has a reval against the US. Added to that, the US is very expensive to buy goods and manufacturing from because their currency is still too high, which basically affects their current account deficit and all sorts of things, okay? Now, the whole market today was waiting for NVIDIA. Even in pre-market trade, they were down 3%, but their market earnings were astronomical, okay? They made something like 30 billion from some stuff that I saw, and it was pretty amazing. So this one's in the wrong spot, I have to tell you that. I do that sometimes, seriously. This is Bitcoin exchange against other all exchanges and how much Bitcoin is left, right? And this is what I'm saying. There's been a massive decrease of Bitcoin since January of 12.5% of 2.6 million Bitcoin. Don't forget, 9.8 million have already been, created, okay, and mined. And don't forget, probably 3 million are lost. So you can see this decline. The exchanges don't have a lot of Bitcoin. If we go back here, they had 3 million units of Bitcoin, but as you follow that purple line down, it's going lower and lower. And that rate of change there is becoming faster and faster, okay? And that's very obvious when you look at that. So let's go to the next slide here. Bitcoin. So let's talk about the cryptocurrency market. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or a drink or water. I'll pause this video for a sec, and then we'll talk about the cryptocurrency market specifically and the coins we hold in our investment portfolio. That's what I mainly focus on. Clearly, I focus on a lot of other things too, but let's talk about the cryptocurrency market, and I'll come back to you in a sec. Thank you. Now, on the 24-hour clock, oops, sorry, let me just put that back again. Gosh, this always happens, doesn't it? Okay. Wait a minute. Got that. Where is it? Sorry. Gosh, I always do this. I always, just bear with me. I'll have to just put some pause again. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sometimes it moves too quickly for me, and I never know when it's going to move. But anyway, on the 24-hour clock from Crypto Compare, Bitcoin was at 59,260, got to a high of 60922.91. The low was 57903, and according to this 24-hour clock, it posted at 6872.57 units. Now, interestingly enough, I was watching Bitcoin very closely yesterday. The daytime, my daytime, which is Dutch time, Bitcoin got down to 58,200, and I was targeting for my clients a buy level at 58,200. And after yesterday, I thought, well, maybe it'll come back a little bit more, and if it goes below 59,000, it is definitely a buy. But we didn't get the opportunity to buy, right? And that doesn't surprise me, because there is no Bitcoin left, as we know. 21 mil, that's it. Some could have been lost and blah, blah, blah. And also the Bitcoin ETF funds on the NASDAQ stock exchange are bringing in billions, right? And it's not just that. Australia's got ETFs for Bitcoin. Everyone in the world has got ETFs for Bitcoin. Even CBOE is going into Bitcoin, right? So there's no supply, right? And this thing just traded exactly the way I thought it would. Really, it was quite amazing. So let's look at the live coin watch for the crypto market today and see, exactly what's going on, right? So let me just do a new share here, and where is it? Okay, let me do this. Bear with me for a minute. Just got to put this up. Okay, we got that. Let's just do a new share, and we'll be right. There we go. So we're still recording, aren't we? No, yeah, we are. Okay, so just quickly go through this. I look at this every day. It's very important. It shows us some very important statistics, okay? So market cap is only 2.114 trillion, very, very cheap. In the last big rally, it was over 3 trillion. The coins we invest in, the networks, are more profitable than ever. Bitcoin is generating about $3 million a day in fees. As I said before, multiply that by the 365 days, that's Australian day count, and you get, massive revenue and profitability, okay? Massive, regardless of the costs of electricity and everything else, right? With no debt and totally decentralized and almost impossible to hack, okay? 98% almost impossible. Volume is fairly large. Again, it's nearly 69 billion, and liquidity is relatively good at 5.94 bill. This tells me people are trying to sell this and take money out of the market, but they're pretty stupid, really, because Bitcoin, I believe, will bounce pretty quickly from 58,000. Any dip is to be bought over and above, I'm sorry to say it, XRP and Ethereum, okay, and ADA. So Bitcoin dominance is still 55.654%, going up. XRP dominance is waning at 1.50. Dominance means as a coin goes up in price against everything else, it gets more dominance. Ethereum dominance looks bad to me at 14.213. I believe that dominance within a year would be down at 5%, which means a massive underperformance of Ethereum because people are not buying Ethereum in the ETFs and they're selling Ethereum. Tron dominance, I believe, will be much higher. It's a meganaut. It's incredible, whether you like Justin Sun or not, right? He's got the facts and the figures on the board, and he's making a fortune in revenue with his new meme tokens, which are working. Unfortunately, with ADA, any meme token on their platform has never worked, and it's been a disaster. Link, I'm expecting that dominance to go up probably to, 5%, as much as Solana, which will probably be maybe 8%. Solana dominance is 3.12, and Bitcoin dominance is 0.2. Bitcoin Cash dominance is 0.3, right? Which I'm expecting higher as well. Once Bitcoin gets to $125 per unit by the end of the year, December, Bitcoin Cash, they will start to buy Bitcoin Cash because it has the same problems as Bitcoin and it's cheaper. It's as simple as that. So Bitcoin's 59561. Ethereum is 2545. I mean, what clients should be doing really is putting a buy limit in for Bitcoin at 58,200. And I think that's a great buy level to hold, basically. We don't sell our Bitcoin because it's a rare asset. It's like one apple in the world and 8 billion people, right? Binance, 544, Solana, 141, XRP down nearly 2%, 0.5654. XRP to me looks very bad technically. I think it goes lower. 0.161 for Tron. It's going to be breakout on that thing very soon. I'm amazed that Ton coin is still there, Telegram, given that the CEO has been arrested for criminal activities. That's beyond me. ADA looks bad to me. 0.356. Dodge. I'd be buying Dodge anything under 9 cents. AVEX very cheap at 23.32. Don't forget Fidelity backing them and a few other people, big people. What else we got? Link 1105, cheapest chips. BCH 321, cheapest chips, down not even 1% or 0.5%. Dot very cheap at 4.26. And, you know, Matic's not doing very well, 0.42. Litecoin, I'm not interested in Litecoin at all. My favorite meme is Pepe. Any downside in that below, you know, even here's a buy. To me, this is a buy on Pepe. 5 digits, 777. But if it got lower, I'd definitely be buying some more of that. So market, I think, traded very well, and I was quite impressed with it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight. Certainly, Nvidia came out; they were really good results. But yeah, we just have to see what happens with war risk out there and everything else. So let's go back to the video and make sure that I've got the right share screen on here. I'm learning here. Believe me, give me time. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. All right, so let's get on with the next slide. I never know what I put in here. Oh yes, my Matic is migrating to Pol on September the 24th. Some of the exchanges have already done this, but I know KuCoin has not yet done it, okay? Because I do use KuCoin, not that this is an advertisement for them. I don't get paid commission or anything like that. But it's just a question, if you hold your Matic on the exchange, they will automatically do the migration, okay? So it's going to make it a lot easier. And once that's done, possibly that's another thing. People are selling out of Matic at the moment because they don't want to have to do this on September the 4th. And that's fair enough. And that's why you're seeing short-term weakness. I guess if it gets too low, it would be an opportunity to buy as far as I'm concerned. Polygon, my understanding, owns Polymarket, which is doing extremely well, getting more and more clients because you can bet on all different things, even who's going to win the presidency in the US. And they're making a lot of fees and a lot of revenue. And now Polymarket has been put on Bloomberg Terminal for all the traders and the hedge funds and the speculators. And with that, they're going to get more clients, right? I don't know how many clients Bloomberg has in the world, but I imagine it would be millions and millions and millions, if not, you know, like a lot of millions, right? So I think that's pretty interesting. Oh, what do I do with my water? Okay, just have a look at this, guys. I've got to find my water. Otherwise, I get really thirsty, and you know, then I get a sore throat if I don't drink water. So bear with me. So that's that. Okay, what I do there, I'm obviously put this on again. Oh God, Susie, seriously. Okay, so that's going to happen, and don't worry about it. Just have your Polygon, your Matic, sorry, on the exchanges, and they'll just do that automatically. Okay. So what else have we got here? Bear with me for a minute. There was a lot of negativity about Cardano as well. They're doing a hard fork. Looks like they're doing it in 2 upgrades, which is, you know, interesting in itself. But, you know, Tezos can do, as I said, hard forks very quickly and upgrade straight away. So I don't know why it's taken so long to do these upgrades. You know, seriously, you know, it has got a lot of negativity, Cardano, because transactions per second are only, they do 18 transactions per second, which is really, really bad compared to, you know, even Bitcoin Lightning Network. And if you compare it to Solana, that's doing, you know, anything from 150,000 transactions per second. I mean, even Visa card does more transactions per second than ADA, which is supposed to be a blockchain. Crazy stuff. So I don't like Cardano, and I just don't think it's going to perform. I've told my clients to get out of it. There's better performances than ADA. I'm not a believer in the academic language of Cardano, and I'm not a believer because they just don't put on any clients. And I've been looking at Cardano for years, and it's all about putting on clients. It's a business, the network, putting on clients and earning revenue. Okay, it's as simple as that, and getting more and more accounts and having, you know, more account users using Cardano, right? Compare Cardano to a Tron, they have 200,000 account users that are really, really active. Cardano, I think, only has off memory about 1 million, less than 1 million, which is not great. So it's still too high in price compared to, say, a Tron, which is a better operation, And, you know, every time they have an upgrade, it doesn't stop the whole network like Cardano, right? So there's a lot of reasons why I don't like Cardano. Also, what else we got? Oh, yes, the Bloomberg thing. I told you about that. Okay, here we go. Bloomberg features Polymarket odds for the United States presidential election outcome alongside data from other prediction markets such as Predict IT and polling service, according to the Post. Interesting. I do like Polymarket. I bet on them myself. Australians are allowed to bet. Bloomberg's terminal is the world's most popular institutional financial data platform. That's true, but it's very expensive. It's about $2,500 a month. So really it's, or even more now, it could be $3,200 US a month. But, you know, the professionals use Bloomberg. I'd love one, but, you know, $3,000 a month, it's a lot of money, to be perfectly honest. I'd rather give it to animal charities than pay Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg, who created Bloomberg, is an extremely wealthy guy, and I'd rather give it to animals. Beautiful animals that need our help. Apparently, Bloomberg controls 1/3 of the market share for financial data services, according to Wall Street. And that is true. I remember Reuters years ago used to be the one that everyone used, and then Bloomberg came, and with the analytics, it just destroyed Reuters, seriously. And I think Reuters now have gone to retail clients. So they have they only have 350,000, okay, clients. Okay, that's interesting. Globally, I thought it'd be more than that. But you know, if they're charging over $3,000 for Bloomberg, you can work out exactly the $3,000 per month. You know, 36,000 a year or 40,000 with other fees. Then you can work out how much that company is earning, or how much Michael Bloomberg is earning, which is a lot of money, right? A huge amount of money. Polymarket is a blockchain-based prediction market built on the Polygon network, and it's killing every other betting site at the moment. And you know, Polygon, you know, there probably is an opportunity to buy, because I love Polymarket. It allows users to create and bet on a variety of event outcomes and uses transparent on-chain data and smart contracts to facilitate trade and payouts. It's a great system, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Fantastic system. Polymarket has emerged as the go-to platform for tracking real-time odds on outcomes for US elections, with monthly trading volume for August approaching 450 million, according to June analytics. It is a really great system. You know, I look at other betting sites, and it actually gives you some pretty good bets. Really. A total of nearly 760 million has been bet on the outcome of the November the 4th US presidential election on the platform, according to Polymarket. The last time I looked, Mr. Trump was ahead 73% against Priscilla of 27, right? Oh, now they're saying 50 to 48. That's interesting. Okay. I haven't looked at it for a while. There are other rivals like Bet Platform for Solano, but look, this is killing it. It's a very easy platform to use, and you can use cryptocurrency as well. So it's absolutely killing it. So very interesting. What else we got here? I always forget, you know, what I put up here. There's a lot of news about Pepe, and I love Pepe. It captures everyone's imagination, whether you're a meme, you know, trader, or just a speculator, or an investor, or whatever. I do like this token very much. And, you know, people really like to buy cheap meme tokens, right? It has had a huge year last year. It was up 200%. And I think, you know, this year it could even be more than that. I really do. You know, again, you know, the market's, you know, selling down, but there will be a movement once we see this huge bull market to start buying the wider market of memes as well as altcoins, which are all extremely cheap, particularly the ones we look at for our investment portfolio number 7. So in my mind, and we've had that portfolio on 31 of August, was it 2023 actually? In my mind, Pepe can go through the roof, and I'm calling it to 0.01. So, you know, anyone where I have some clients that don't pay because they're on, very low income. I'm basically telling them if they can take the risk, and if they're not risk averse and they're young, I have a lot of clients under 30 that I don't actually ask for a subscription because I generally want to help them out. And if they're under 30 and they're young and they can handle the risk, I'm telling them to buy Pepe in any dip, okay? Any dip. I think it's going to be a great story, Pepe. And it could offer, 1,000-time returns. That's my view. And there's certainly a lot of information about Pepe, okay? They've done a hard fork and they did Pepe Unchained, but I really like the original Pepe, okay? Apparently, the team claims that Pepe Chain will offer transaction speeds 100 times faster than Ethereum. Now, Ethereum does, on a good day, say 10 transactions per second, on a bad day, 8. So, again, these memes, even technically and network-wise, are better than Ethereum. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to know where Ethereum's going. In my view, down. And, I'd love to buy a put on Ethereum or even sell a call because Ethereum's volatility is high, and buy a call on Bitcoin in the options, okay? So high volatility in Ethereum and buy Bitcoin. Very interesting indeed. Okay, what else we got here? I don't know how many stories I have here about Pepe, but again, it's a terrific story, and I think it's going to do very well indeed. What else we got? Okay, FET, another one. FET is amazing. Sorry, I just had a breaky poo. I went down to the shops just before doing the foot. No, I put this on pause, and I met 2 American people, young people, very, very polite. And I complimented them on, being young, such young guys, how polite they were. And then we got talking about the election in the US, because obviously I don't understand the US system, how it works, and what they thought about who was going to get in. And both of them, interesting enough, said that they believed that Kamala Harris was going to get in. But and I took that into account, and I think that's fair enough. But I still feel, maybe I'm going to be wrong on this, but I do have a bet on Mr. Trump, because I think when I look at the Twitter numbers, Mr. Trump's got about 90 million Twitter subscribers, and if you don't like him, you're not going to subscribe, right? And Camilla at best has about 32 million, and I don't know, Elon Musk too is a big player who's supporting his campaign. But I guess we just have to see. But I believe that if Mr. Trump gets in, the markets will rally big time, because he'll open up the taps of debt and everything, and just, do infrastructure and everything. But look, we just have to see how it goes, okay? So another one that I want to focus on, I love, is FET, but it's now become ASI on a lot of the exchanges, excluding KuCoin, okay, which is going to be doing it, I think, in September. And it's now turned into the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, and it was with 2 other blockchains, okay? This coin, ASI, is extremely, extremely cheap. It's totally undervalued at the moment, and I believe that this thing could go easily to $10 per unit, because it is such a great story. And we do have it in our investment portfolio number 7. So I don't know how long that will take, but I think it's a very, very good story. It's very cheap. When they merged it between the 3 blockchains, the 3 networks, the overall supply was lower than the individual supply of each of the coins, okay? And that makes me want to buy this even more. So going to be interesting. Also, there's an innovation lab to allocate 10 million to support AI startups, according to their official blog, which I think is fantastic. It will be used as a catalyst for developing AI agent solutions to deliver tangible value to business and consumers worldwide. To achieve this goal, the lab will allocate over 10 million annually to fund projects focused on AI. That is sensational. Wow, I think that is a great initiative. to be perfectly honest. And a lot of people don't know about Fetch. I noticed it years ago when it was 3 cents or something. And I thought then what a great idea that was. So since 3 or 4 years ago, they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And with this ASI coin now, with the merger, it's going to be even better going forward. That's my honest belief, people. I've been looking at the fundamentals of these coins for going well over 10 years or so. So yeah, very interesting. What have we got next here? Bear with me. Sometimes these things go on for too long, and I apologize for that. You can't always, you know. Now, again, Pepe. Oh my God, the frog. Everything's about Pepe at the moment. Every person that writes the crypto articles, they're all talking about Pepe. But a few have captured the hype, quite like Pepe the frog. And maybe people just really like frogs. You know, Kermit the Frog from years ago, he was green. Yeah, very interesting. But I'm a big, massive bull on Pepe. There's no doubt about it. Any dip to me, you have to buy. And it's as simple as that, okay? And I think it will go to its all-time high. And there is too much fear in the markets at the moment because the crypto market is very, very, very cheap. Also, Solano, they did an update of some sort, bear with me, focusing on more scalability, more live, limiting fees again, and, basically network congestion, limiting that and making the system faster and faster. So they're a great story too. I don't think they're going to go as high as last year where they're up 900%. But still, Solano, a lot of people, a lot of big whales are in Solano, but I think there's more opportunity in Link, definitely more opportunity in Pepe and, things like ASI and that sort of thing. So Soleil's integrated design contrasts with module something or other. It's a decentralized network bandwidth allocation. Interesting. Solano restaking projects. Soleil attracts 12 million investments. That's great. Led by Polychain Capital to advance its integrity and restaking network on Solano. Excellent. I mean, that's pretty good. 12 million for a new, looks like a new coin. Solano secures 12 million to enhance Solano's restaking capability. Excellent. I saw Solano being on, what was it? One of the platforms. 9% people were getting paid, which is pretty good. That's higher than cash, higher than 10-year bond at 3.9%. Staking rates are rising because there's a lack of physical crypto, okay? So if exchanges get short of crypto, they have to increase their staking levels. It was Wirex, actually. Solana was at 19%. Let's have a look at this. Ripple. Apparently, Ripple are testing a new stable coin with private beta testing currently underway. I don't think this is going to work. There's a lot of stable coins out there. A lot of them don't do very well. Obviously, the biggest stable coin is US Tether, and it's absolutely killing it, okay? So in my mind, people aren't going to buy a stable coin from a corporate like Ripple that doesn't have a credit rating. That's my view. But anyway, if it does well, it does well, right? It's going to be on the XRP ledger and Ethereum. Just have to see on that, but I will keep an eye on that, okay? Because it's all about volume and liquidity and it holding its one to the US dollar. And the question is, are they buying physical US dollar if they're going to have a stable coin, right? And they need to, right? So again, we just have to look at that. Yeah, they're looking at it, okay. According to data, the fees are very low. That's good, but we need to keep an eye on that. I don't know whether it's already started or not, but RLUSD, I need to write that down and certainly keep an eye on it. It could be very telling how that operates, to be perfectly honest. And the question is whether you have to stake XRP on the XRP ledger when I'm so bearish XRP in terms of price. I'm really sorry, people out there, but 4 years ago, Ripple had a great chance to get ahead of the competitors, and the competitors have actually caught up and superseded Ripple. Everyone can now do cross-border currency payments. It's not a new thing anymore, okay? It's an old thing. So my view on XRP is down, I'm afraid to say, and I'm very sorry about that. Okay, what else we got out here? Oh, here we go. Analysts, US Fed to partner with Ripple for payments to India. Very interesting. India is a very large country, 1.3 billion people, biggest country in the world now, overtaken China. Their growth domestic product's been very good, around 6.5%, 7%, per annum, which is excellent compared to allegedly the US growth domestic product around 2.9 to 3%, which I actually don't believe. The US Federal Reserve has expressed concern about the growth of payment system, particularly those that link to foreign networks to make global payments. That's interesting. What else do they say? XRP could make a home in India. The interlinking of payment system could end up in legal, oh God, and increase compliance. My God, why do you want to go there? Seriously. More and more compliance to do these payment things. Why do you want to go there, Ripple? Seriously. Speaking of global fintech fest in Mumbai, Whaley said there is no silver bullet that increases speed efficiency without the trade-offs. True. To me, Ripple had a lot of low-hanging fruit about 3 or 4 years ago, but I just feel somehow they've lost their way. And other networks like Tron can do cross-border payments within seconds and easily 5,000 transactions per second. Unless new solutions are found, interlinking fast payment systems might increase risk management burden certainly. It's going to increase the risk management of the banks, also their liquidity ratios, the ratios with the, US Treasury, US Central Bank, and all sorts of things. Absolutely problematic in itself. So yeah, it's basically saying they could have problems in other global arenas, right? I think it's just too hard when you're talking about other global arenas in terms of compliance and government laws and Patriot Acts and, oh my God, it's a big story. Why are they going there? I just don't see the point of it, to be honest. I don't know. I don't see the point of them being in this area because it's hard graft, with all the laws of government departments and regulatory departments. Gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so Axis Bank and Yes Bank were the first Indian institutions to join Ripple, which now has over 75 customers globally, which is not a lot, actually, to be honest. If that's all they've got, look at Chainlink, for example. They have the big Swift account, and Swift is owned by all the major big banks in the world. And it's something like, off memory, 11,735 banks. And that's Chainlink, right? Which is a mega, mega, mega buy. This, I don't think Ripple's done enough. And I'm sorry, I've gone negative on Ripple. I'm really sorry to say that. And XRP people, okay? 3 or 4 years ago, yes, I had a valuation of over $1,000, but it never got there. They could progress 3 or 4 years ago to now, and they were a Chainlink or a Solana, which they should have been. It'd be a different story. But I just think there's too many other great blockchain networks now, or not even blockchain anymore. Proof authority, IV chain, which is just a meganaut, right? V chain, it's in the environment, cleaning up the environment, the water. It's an incredible story. Not only that, fraud, making sure that you as a consumer are getting, a proper steak beef at the consumer retail level at the factory, at the supermarket, but it's got all the tags and everything else from where it came from the farm, that cow, right? And that's what VeChain does. And it tags everything for weight and proper delivery and transport on planes or ships or whatever, with the proper tag, RPC or whatever it's called. And it's all blockchain network stuff, mainnet, and it knows whether something's been tampered with. So by the time you get it, you can ensure that it's a quality product. In China, they have a massive problem with food fraud, and food is not food. Rice is plasticine, meat is paper mache and red dye and this sort of thing. Plus, not only that, Gucci or whatever, all those big brands, the Chinese are great copyists, and they're not, like the Hemi's, what is it, shopping bag that everyone's paying a fortune for, $22,000 for a Hemi bag or something, right? And you can see the problem if it's counterfeit from China, right? And VeChain avoids all that, and it's a meganaut. And yeah, I'm afraid I've gone very negative on XRP, Cardano, and Ethereum. Okay, and I just think we're a seller of those. I'm telling my clients not to buy those coins. Now, Crypto.com, which we know well, is a cryptocurrency exchange in Singapore. They've now launched a new global retail service in partnership with Standard Chartered Bank to offer customers in the US, Euro, and United Arab Emirates dirham. Wow, that's amazing. Standard Chartered Bank are very, very good bank, and they have a lot of clients from Asia and Africa and a lot of different places. They're in 90 countries in the world. That's a big story for Crypto.com, actually. We should have seen Crow bounce on this. This is a big partnership. It's a win-win. Absolutely right. It's very good for both of them. The partnership with Standard Chartered Bank gives customers confidence from a globally recognised and trusted brand, which it is. These partnerships increase trust in industry and make transacting easier for customers. So clearly, Standard Chartered Bank's customers are going to start going to crypto, and that's obviously the partnership deal with Crypto.com, which is a crypto exchange. The service will be available in the UAE, where there's a lot of money, and they're going to increase that service. I think that's a great story. Plus, they've got a license in Dubai. Fantastic story for Crow, actually. It is a huge partnership. It's a very big one, and I think that is a very good story for Crow, because I'll get all Standard Chartered's clients for crypto, and essentially, have more people on Crow Exchange. I think Crow's got about 80 million clients. From the last time I looked, Bernard's has about 440 million to 480, right? So, you see Qcoin's got about 22 million, Bytebit 30 million, and so forth. OKX has about 60 million, I think. Anyway, futures funding rates are positive, which means people are starting to buy Bitcoin. I don't know why traders are shorting Bitcoin. I think it is crazy trade. You've got to buy the dips, people, the dips, okay? Also, there was a big story here about the Chicago Board of Exchange, one of the biggest exchanges in the world, and I think this is important. Let me just get the story right. Bear with me. CBOE, it's in competition with the NASDAQ and, pretty much that. The CBOE, Chicago Board of Exchange, files amended application to list Bitcoin Ethereum options in the US, and they'll be a direct competitor to Deribit, okay? That's very interesting. CBOE, I know they're getting big in Europe as well. CBOE Exchange in the United States Security Exchange filed an amended application to regulators to list options on Bitcoin and Ethereum in exchange-traded funds, according to two August 28 filings for Bitcoin and Ethereum options, respectively. And a lot of the exchanges, centralized exchanges, are going into Bitcoin and obviously Ethereum, but also options, okay? According to the documents, the exchange seeks to list options linked to Ethereum Bitcoin ETFs issued by asset managers. That's very interesting, including Fidelity, 21 Shares, Invesco, Van Eyck, Grayscale, Bitwise, BlackRock, iShares, and Valkyrie. And that's big because that brings more customers to cryptocurrency. The New York Stock Exchange for options, option trading on the equity market is huge, and you're going to get people coming into crypto trading options, which is a big story on the ETFs, which I really like that idea. I think that's a great story. I don't know how long it's going to take them to do that, but it's a very good story. And also you'll see less supply of Bitcoin because people have to hedge their option positions with Bitcoin. So yeah, that's really interesting story, and it's great and extremely bullish for cryptocurrency. NASDAQ on the 27th also announced its intentions to list Bitcoin options tied to the CME Cash CF Bitcoin Real-Time Index. Wow. Benchmark for spot Bitcoin. Very good. That means more clients are going to come to the market, and it's going to make it very easy for new clients to go on the US stock, on the New York Stock Exchange. Most people have limits for equity markets, but not necessarily cryptocurrency markets. That's very interesting, particularly if you're a fund manager or a trader or whatever that is. Anyway, guys and girls, that's enough for me today. Hope you're all well. Thank you very much for listening to me. And please look after yourself, look after your beautiful family, your beautiful wives, husbands, beautiful children, family, friends, everything. And please look after your animals, and please look after other animals in the world, just to make this place a better place. And thank you very, very much for listening. And thank you for subscribing to our we have an app on Google and what's the other one, Apple, and it's called the Crypto Lens. And I really appreciate my clients subscribing to me for years and years and years. Thank you very much again, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon.